So we are now in FreeCAD, point 19, a new file, and sketch a workbench. Let's save the file just to be on the safe side. Let's call it shade amount. Okay, spelling problems. Okay, and we're creating a new sketch in XY plane. And that's basically will be a polyline. And let's try to do it something like that. Okay. And that's the first corner. And let's check some dimensions. So we start already with the right size. So the original piece is around 1.5 millimeter. So let's make these 1.5 millimeter. 1.5. So we are a bit smaller. So we need to zoom in. Yep, and we'll let it know that all others are the same length. So this is our 1.5, but we can say now that from here to here we also 1.5, but then once we change it, then it won't be the same. So instead, what we can do, we can create a helper line that will be here, touching these, and and we'll make sure that this thing is vertical. And now, well, too easy to hit the escape button. And now we'll say this and this is the same length. Okay, so if we change it's 1.5 to something else, let's say 2, then automatically this dimension will also change. So that's the better approach, to have these relations 1.5. Okay. So now the depth of this hook, I'm measuring it in the background, so you can see that it's like roughly 3.2 millimeters, I think. Yeah, 3.2. So this element here is 3.2. Yep. And the depth of these socket is also about 1.5. So this gentleman will be equal to this gentleman. Okay. So that's roughly it, and we need another help line, which will be from here to here, and it also needs to be equal to this one. Equal, right? Yep. So it starts to look similar to what we actually need. There are too many dimension lines. Let's move it here. Yep. And let's continue with the shape. Now it's super long, which is not helping, but let's do the rest. Now somewhere here we have this other dongle, which looks something like that. Let's go down, that goes here. For now it just needs to be rough, but we'll fix it, and we have some redundant constraints that I will deal with in a second. And now here comes something like here was the original thing, and now we are adding this holder that will hold the frame. Yeah, and that's it roughly. Now we can click here and remove the constraint number 35, which basically is this particular constraint telling that this line is vertical. At the same time, if these 2 points are on the axis, then this line already for sure is vertical, so we don't need the constraint. So we can just select it and delete, and FreeCAD will be more happy. And now we need to connect these and these. Just press the C button, and yeah, it's now connected. And now we need a number of lines to be equal. So these and these and these and these needs to be equal. Yep. And that's our 1.5. And what else can we move it here? Okay, and this gentleman also is the same thing. Yep. Right, so now we should be able to move. Now we also need another helpline that will make sure that thickness of this part is also the same thing. So these and these are equal. Ding. Let's see if it's moving as I would expect. Yes, so it's nice and easy. And now still we can, oh, this gentleman should be horizontal. And it also should be equal to our beloved, what's wrong here? Okay, these and these, and they should be equal. Equal. Some wrong clicking. These and these two and this here equal. Okay, so I have some extra equality, and we have 6 degrees of freedom, so we can still move things around. And so for sure we can move this little guy here, and we can move this. Okay, now we need one more, because from here to here it's a given, a known. So we add extra line and say that these two are also the same length. Ding. Okay, so now I need to do yet another measurement. So between these two flaps, or however we call it, is 36 mils. So this line is 36. Okay, so this goes higher actually. Something is wrong here or not? Yes, something is wrong here. Okay, you can see. Oops, it's better now. So this needs to be vertical. Yep. And now we need to sort out these dimensions, because then it looks messy. And I need to pause and check these dimensions on the video. Okay, so that's 16.7, I believe. 16.7. And we said that this should be around 20, not more than 20. So let's make it 20. And still we have 1 degree of freedom. Okay, I see that something is wrong here. Let's figure it out. Something is simply not connected. Sometimes it's not that super easy to debug things in FreeCAD. So if we ask it, yeah. So you can see that this line here is not in the place it should be, and we cannot move it. So what I will do, I will just delete it and create it once more, probably, or maybe I will delete this one, and I should be able now to move this. So something is wrong here. Let's see. Let's get rid of it. Yeah, we are missing a few lines here now, so let's just add them back. Yada yada yada. When you move stuff around, it sometimes happens if your sizing is not perfect from the very beginning. Now we move it here and we say that these two are actually connected. Plus, this gentleman here needs to be on the line. The Shift O is the thing that you need, and we lost another, I think, help line. So that's the one, and we need to say that this is vertical, and this vertical line is equal to that vertical line equal. Okay, and it says that we'll still have 3 degrees of freedom, which is surprising a bit. Let's see which ones. What can I move here? I can still move the whole thing here. Okay, that's fair. That's the thing that I haven't measured yet. So we can measure this thing above here, which is 9.4-ish. So this line is... Oh, I have too many objects selected. 9.4. It doesn't have to be super perfect, but should be close enough. So now it says we still have 2 degrees of freedom, and it seems like we can move this gentleman here. Okay, you can see something is not connected here. So we have a line that is not needed here. And now we have some, we have some mess here that we will fix. So we'll get rid of this line and connect this here, see, and this here, see. And then we have just 1 degree of freedom, which is what can we move here? We can move these. Okay, you see. That's the very last one, so we need to either connect these two dots or make it horizontal. But let's connect it, and we have some redundant constraint that we want to delete, and yes, and now we have what we wanted. So we have a fully constrained sketch, which means that nothing is moving, all the dimensions are known, and we're good to go. So we can close it now. And the whole thing originally is around 16 millimeters in height. So let's go to the part and let's extrude these by 16 mils and see what we have. So now we have this little dongle here, and honestly, what I think I probably should just print it out and test. I'm not sure if we really need these 2 bumps, but just to make it more fun, let's do them. So we want another sketch here on this face. So let's create a sketch that will be flat face here. We want to use this little button to make a section view. So you see, if we press it, we are looking through these 2 items, and basically our bumps are just 2 rectangles, right? As you remember, one here, dings, and one here. And now the fun part will be to have them right size in right place. And what we can do, we can import, we can have a link to some external geometry. So basically we need this line and this line, otherwise we won't have them in right place. Now we want to say that these two items are equal and these two lines are equal length. So these two bumps will be the same size, but we can still move them around, as you can see, but they will just be the same size. The other thing we can do is we can create a help line that will be here, and we can now say that this help line is horizontal. So now they stop moving, right? And the other thing is we can create extra helping lines that will anchor them to these reference geometries. So let's do things like that. Let's do 4 of these. And we can say that all 4 should be equal length. Equal. Ding. Now we have some redundant redundant constraint that I got rid of. And now, as you can see, that's what we needed. Now we just need to size these two gentlemen. And find the right position. So let's measure it. Okay, so this is 6.3, I believe. And here we have 3.2. And they are away from each other, 21 mils. So this is 21. And we have a fully constrained sketch, which is cool. And now what we need to do, we need to go to the part and extrude also these two gentlemen. And it's hard to say what these bumps are, what's the height of these bumps, but I can try to measure it somehow. I just will measure the whole thing with and without the bump. So without the bump it's 1.9, and with the bump it's 2.4. So it seems like 0.5 millimeter. So let's make it 0.2. Okay, ding, and you can see that we have just 2 little bumps over here. So let's assume for now that it's good. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the mesh design, create a mesh from the shape. Okay, we need to do one more thing. We need to, in the part, we need to make a union of these two shapes. So we have a fusion now. Go to the mesh design, meshes, create a mesh from shape, and we create a new mesh. And that's our 3D model, and we can export an STL file. So let's call it, let's rename it to the shade mount again, just to keep things clear. And let's export this as the STL file. Where is STL on this long list? It's here. So it's shade mount STL, and let's keep it like that. And now we go to our favorite slicer, which is Simplify 3D in my case. And here it comes with some other crap. So we can import our shade mount STL file. Here it comes. Yep, let's have a look at it. And as you remember, it's roughly 1.2 mils. So let's go to a process, and our nozzle diameter is 0.4, and the automatic insertion width is about 0.48, which means that we'll have 3 lines, which should be fine. So let's see how it looks on the preview. Prepare to print. Yep, as expected, we have 3 lines, and our bumps will show up here, as you can see. So let's get the printer warm, and see how it looks like. Okay, so here we have our fluid interface. Let's get the thing warm. I think 210 is the desired needed temperature, and now it will take some time. So we can pause for a while, or we can actually get back to simplify. I don't remember if we saved the toolpath. We haven't, so we need to save the G-code file. Yeah, so now we have it saved. And let's get back to, and we need some time. We can upload in the meantime. Go to the jobs. It's here. We can upload our new file. Yeah, it's here on the desktop. And it says it will use 1 meter of filament and will weight 3 grams. So now we need to wait for the temperature. And we are back. Temperature is 210 and the bed is 60. So this printer was standing for a week doing nothing because I was on holidays. So let's just extract a bit of the filament, and you can you can see it coming here. So we are good to go. Let's go to our jobs. Shade mount, and it should take about estimated time is 9 minutes. So let's print it. Let's see. Yeah. So now the fun part, the printer will check the bed leveling, and I will likely get rid of these nasty tail of filament. So you have seen a very professional action. Everything, with gloves, preventing heat risk and other stuff. Yep, so now it's printing. So it will be boring. So I'll probably still record it. Okay, so looks like we are done in actually 10 minutes and 33 seconds. And we can have a look at the time lapse, which I think will be kind of super boring. And not much will be visible. Yeah, it's just nothing special. So let's just take the piece and see if it works.